Hey folks, today we have this beautiful Pioneer PL-L1000 fully automatic linear tracking turntable. This one is excellent to near mint cosmetically, has been beautifully restored for look, feel, performance by me, and just a wonderful example of one of the best turntables, certainly in the linear tracking space. So this one was made in 1979 in Japan by Pioneer. And 79 for me is really the peak of the vintage turntable era, particularly for your Japanese direct drive turntables. So a few of the features, and again, cosmetic condition. I'd say certainly excellent to near mint. The only thing I would call out from a cosmetic standpoint is a nick on the plinth here and a nick right kind of back here. I'd say that's the only thing holding this back from really being, say, near mint to even mint condition. Fully detailed inside and out, so it's wonderful condition. I did a really full ground up restoration from building back from the plinth back up, and performance is just incredible, and was in great condition when I got it, and is now at its optimum. So a few of the features of this turntable. Let's go ahead and turn it on. The linear tracking Tonearm, so that it's mainly noted for zero tracking error on your record as you're playing. Zero tracking record, the full width of the record from beginning to end. Probably even more important than that in my mind is there's no anti-skate error. So the forces that are generated that create the need for anti-skate in a conventional turntable are absent in the linear tracking design, since it's just following the groove directly. And so want to probably not something people think about first, but I think from a standpoint of sonic performance, certainly one of the things that makes linear trackers so nice, particularly the good ones like this one. Suspended chassis design, so not terribly common by the time you get to the Japanese direct drive turntables, but the plinth is actually sits on the feet, which are solid to the table, and then the chassis is suspended below it on springs, and that the platter and the Tonearm, you probably see the movement. It's fairly firmly suspended, but provides excellent isolation. Also, the PL-L1000 has really nice feet and very easy to adjust. And I do include, and this is pretty important for this turntable, a large bubble level which can be set on the rails back here, and that is for adjusting the level of the turntable. We'll get into a little bit why that's important. Actually, we could cover it right now. So the Tonearm carriage movement is controlled by a large electromagnet below the rail. So the Tonearm rides on two rails. It has wheels on polished rails, and there's a little bit of misinformation that this carriage floats on electromagnets. It doesn't float. It does ride on rails. Rides very smoothly, but the movement is controlled magnetically. So there's a large electromagnetic below the rails, and it's easy to see if you use a jog wheel. And this jog wheel is kind of one of the most fun features of this turntable, and we'll get a record on soon. So and overall great build quality. So the turntable weighs just about 27 pounds, so it's really well made. So let's go ahead and get a record on, and then we'll talk about some of the items included in the restoration. So control panel has been completely disassembled. Actually, to disassemble that, it's necessary to desolder all the LEDs. That allows me to get, and all these buttons are, the panels are removed, the circuit boards are removed from the panels, the buttons are freed up to be able to soak in like a warm water and mild soap solution. So this panel, super clean, wonderful look and feel, and obvious performance. No stickiness, gumminess, all the dirt and debris that's accumulated over the years has been taken care of. Motor spindle obviously cleaned and lubricated. SE20 oil. Tonearm motor lift. This is one of the areas where typically this turntable of this vintage, Tonearm lifts always need to be addressed. So that's I do remove that, clean it, properly re-lube it, reinforce there's a kind of a suspension around the motor to cut down on vibration and noise when the Tonearm is going up and down, and that is I reinforce that in order to get the correct alignment between the gears, and then reinstall a brand new belt. So that works beautifully. All the electrolytic capacitors in the unit have been replaced with Nichicon FG or Muse bipolars. So great quality capacitors there, and that's done for reliability over time. All the capacitors checked out fine, so wasn't an issue, just a reliability thing. Lead-in shutter is adjusted and damped. So when the Tonearm moves, there's a shutter that catches the Tonearm in order to position it for the different size records, and you select that here. So you can go back on 12 inches, and that is not only clean but also re-lubricated with the 100K CST silicone oil. So one of the things that, if you're familiar with this turntable, they'll get a large kind of snap sound as the Tonearm approaches the record, and that's because that lubrication has dried out over time, and so that's when that's replaced, you get a nice, smooth, soft, quiet performance out of the table. Tonearm carriage, correct damping fluid is one of the rollers is damped, and that's what creates the smooth movement. Or one of the things that helps, kind of overall part of the system that creates the smooth movement. That's been replaced with correct viscosity oil. The Tonearm lamp, there's a sensor in a lamp essentially detecting your tracking error. So we'll look at that a little bit more in the demo. But that lamp has been replaced. That just helps ensure accurate tracking. Those lamps go dim over time, so that's a good thing to do. And then all checks and all adjustments in the service manual. So a number of adjustments related to various timing, the lead-in timing, the timing coming to the record, going away from the record, as well as the most important of all is the tracking error and then the tracking gain. So that one of the great things about the electromagnetic turntable is most linear trackers, they get a small error and then correct, small error and then correct. The electromagnet essentially continuously keeps it at absolute optimum tracking, but that does need to be aligned, and I do that with a graph paper actually in play mode, so that you're sure that it's actually tracking properly in play. And let's see what else we got here, and a new cartridge. So this is the Audio-Technica 3600L. Nice cart, nice entry-level cart. I would anticipate that would be upgraded. This table could certainly handle any level of mid or high level cart, high-end cart. So with that, let's go ahead and just do a quick demo. So press start, moves over, and you probably notice just how quiet that was. There's no snap from the shutter. Music's not that loud, but we're also not here to demonstrate the audio performance as you're listening through my camera and microphone, but needless to say, it's a great sounding table, really set up for optimum performance. One other nice feature is that the Tonearm has VTA adjustment, so that's the height of the Tonearm at the back, so that you can make it level with the level, the Tonearm level like this. And so if you do change the card, go another card to say higher or lower, that can be adjusted correctly. So let's arm elevation, very smooth, very quiet. Let's kind of show off this jog wheel. It's a wonderful jog wheel, and because it's a linear tracker, it's very easy to sight and find your position on the record. I'm looking at an angle, so I'm not really going to be able to do that well, but let's go near the end here, and let's put it on repeat actually. We'll put it on repeat, lower the arm, and let it actually hit the exact end of the record. So one nice thing about the PL-L1000 is when it does repeat, just notice that smooth operation. It does repeat, just goes back to the beginning and then lowers again. So some turntables go back to the very beginning and restart, some go back to the beginning of the record. It's just different ways that the engineers solve that issue, but it's kind of neat how it's done here. So let's elevate the Tonearm and just look at a couple of the features. So if we go across the control panel, you have the power, speed, 3345. This lamp here is quartz lock, and you will see how quickly it locks into either 33 or 45. So the table also has electromagnetic braking. So when the Tonearm goes to the rest position, the record comes to a stop. So the very strong motor in this table comes up to speed very fast and brakes very fast. Size selection, 7, 10, 12. Repeat, which we saw, you can have that engaged or not. The arm elevation at any point. So for instance, if you're putting on a new card or changing your head shell, you can lower it in this position in order to balance your, get your balance and tracking weight set correctly. And then what we saw already, which is just your start and stop. So fully automatic. You do need to select your speed and your size, but the other functions are automatic. And just one thing, not necessarily something to try at home, but something that's fun to show off is the electromagnetic function of this Tonearm. So for instance, you can see I'm pushing this Tonearm right smoothly on the rails, and the electromagnet just brings it right back to its proper tracking. So it's always at the optimum. Most linear trackers, of course, you can't do that because they're on a the carriage is moved by kind of a wire and pulley system with a worm gear. Many great designs, many great tables use that design, but this one is very unique in using the electromagnet rather. So you can start stop. I'm not sure if I showed off stop. At any point, well, we showed repeat, so you know it can pick up at the end of the record. So let's just show stop and return to beginning. So nice smooth operation, and sonic performance of this table is phenomenal. The platter, don't know the weight of the platter, it's easy to look up, but quite solid and heavy platter. So with that, I think that's just about wraps it up. I really enjoyed this table. It's certainly one of my favorites. In the area of linear trackers, I'd say it's definitely in the top 3 ever made. And hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it. Thanks so much. Take care.